So you get to the point of a perfect presentation, you nail it, your prospect's really excited, but then you get the dreaded,
"Yeah, John, I mean, to be completely honest with you, it sounds really interesting, but I just don't have the money to get started."
So how do you exactly handle this objection and move your prospect to the next step? That's what we're going to be talking about in this episode, so stay tuned. My name is Tanya Eliza, and I help entrepreneurs and network marketers create success faster while most importantly designing a lifestyle that you love. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. I put out a new training and resource every single week for you and your business. So I've been in network marketing and selling products and services since about 2009. So I've been around the block a couple of times when it comes to this exact objection. And I can tell you what, before I knew how to handle it in my business, it was so dang frustrating. But the moment I learned how to actually handle this objection with authority and with posture and with a very simple 3-step process, my prospects not only had a better experience with me, I was able to lead them to the next step faster with coming up with the money and joining my team. So I'm going to share with you my 3-step plan for making this happen, and it's super easy. Now, before I share that with you, in every episode of Tanya Eliza TV, I like to equip you with a free downloadable resource that you can use in your business to help you create results with faster. Now, in this episode, since we're talking about how to handle the no money objection, I'm going to actually give you my no money objection script sheet and checklist so that while you're making your calls or while you're doing your presentations, you have this checklist and you have this script sheet right beside you, and you know that you're nailing every single one of the 3 steps to help you in your business. If you'd like to download that absolutely free and use it in your business, you can go to tanyaeliza.com/54 download, the number 54 download, and you can pick that up. If you are already on my blog, you will see a big yellow button right below this video, and that's the button that you're going to want to click, and you'll get those scripts and you'll get that checklist to use. So go over to tanyaeliza.com/54 download right now. So my 3-step plan to handling the no money objection: number 1, qualify. Number 2, plan. And number 3, schedule. So what is number 1? Qualify. Super important. So if somebody says, "Hey, this looks amazing. I wish I could do it. I just don't have the money." Where do you go from there? Now, most people are really weak. They're like, "Oh, okay, well, that's okay. I guess I'll never follow up with you again, or not know when to follow up with you again." You also don't know if they're serious. Like, they may have the money, but they just don't see an opportunity for themselves, or they didn't see value in what you were sharing with them. So number 1, to save your time and to make sure that you're also saving their time, you want to make sure that you qualify the objection to make sure that it's real. I do this with every single one of my objection handling techniques. So what I will say to qualify it, here's a little script, and I'll include that in the script list for you, the checklist that I'm going to leave for you on my blog. This is a little phrase I like to use, and you can put your own personality to it, but I say, "Okay, Mr. Prospect, I can totally appreciate you sharing with me that you don't have the money, but let me ask you this. If you did have the money, would you be saying, 'Yes, let's get started. I see an opportunity for myself, and let's get rocking and rolling'? Am I understanding that correct? If you had the money, would you be getting started with me today?" So that's how I would qualify. So just ask them, say, "Hey," and I even take it a step further sometimes, and I'll say, "Hey, because if you're just telling me that you don't have the money because you don't want to hurt my feelings because you really don't see an opportunity for yourself, that's totally okay. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. I just want to make sure if you really see an opportunity and it's just the money that's holding you back, because I can help you come up with a plan on how to get the money so that if you do see an opportunity, we can take advantage of that together and I can help you." So that's number 1. Make sure that you are qualifying. I'll leave a couple qualifying scripts in the download over on my blog, but make sure that you are qualifying. Number 2, you want to plan. Okay, this is really important. So if somebody says, "No, Tanya, I really do see an opportunity for myself. I just really don't have the money." So I'm going to ask them, I'm going to say, "Well, how far are you off, or how much more money do we need to collect?" Right? I want to kind of find out where a baseline is. And sometimes if you ask those questions, well, actually a lot of the time that you ask those questions, they're going to start to tell you what's going on, and then you're going to be able to build a plan for them. And I like to help them come up with ideas ideas on how to come up with the money. So first of all, I'll say, well, how much money do we need to raise, right? How far off are we? How much money do we need to raise? So if your opportunity is like $500 to get started, and I'll ask them, I'll say, did you see the investment to get started? And they'll say yes, and I'll clarify that, make sure that we're on the same page. And I'll say, so how much do we have to raise so that you have the money? And how can we do that? What are some plans? Are you waiting till you get paid? How soon do you think that you can come up with the money? Right? And so you're starting to design a plan as to when the next step is going to happen. And I'll even share a story, and stories are amazing. You can actually share my story if you don't have one of your own yet. I'll share a story with a girl that I was talking to. So if I'm talking to a prospect and they say, yeah, Tanya, I just don't have the money, I'm about $200 off. I'll say, look, what can we do to come up with the money? And if they tell me, oh, I'm just waiting till payday next Friday, then I'll move on to phase 3, which is schedule. But if we don't know how we're going to come up with the money, we got to plan ways to get the money, get creative with coming up with the money with them, because I really truly want to help people when they say that they see an opportunity. Because if somebody if there's a $500, only a $500 investment that stands in the way of somebody really truly seeing an opportunity that could help them never have that problem again, that means a lot to me, and I really want to help them do that. And I'll even say that to them. So I'm going to say, hey, listen, I'll share with you a story. I had a lady that I was talking to. She was in the same boat. She saw an opportunity for herself, but she didn't have the money, and she really didn't have an idea of when she would come up with the money. But here's what she did. She went on Craigslist, and she went to the services section, and she posted an ad for yard work services. She said, I don't really like to go working inside of people's houses, but I'll work outside of people's houses. And it was the fall time. And so I posted an ad. She posted an ad on yard debris cleanup, like raking leaves and hauling stuff away. And she was able to raise the money to get started with me in a matter of one weekend. And so I'll share that story sometimes with a prospect that's starting to think about, well, what can I do? And I'll say, hey, do you have anything that you could sell on Craigslist? Do you have a service that you could provide on Craigslist? And in one weekend, you could come up with the money. So we start to plan ideas to be creative about putting the wheels in motion to work towards the next step of getting them started. And so what I'll do is I'll take planning, I'll put planning in place with them to get creative, to get them more invested in the process. And then I'll move on to phase 3, which is scheduling a time. So phase 3 looks like this. Once we've come up with a couple of ideas together on them raising funds for the difference that they need to come up with, I'm going to say, this is the most important part, by the way. And I see so many people completely skip this. And then what you have is a whole bunch of people hanging out on your list, and you don't know when to take the next step with them, or you're following up with them and you're kind of bugging them and it seems weird. So you always want to make sure you follow all 3 phases. Phase 3, schedule it. So once you come up with some ideas, you want to say something like this. You want to say, okay, how soon can we come up with the money, and make a circle back around date? I'm going to put that in my calendar. You're going to put that in yours, and we're going to reconnect on that date and time for you getting started. And I always say, Tony Robbins says, if you don't plan it, it will never become a reality. So let's both plan it. Let's put this on our schedule for a goal date of when we'll have the money, and a goal date of when I'll be welcoming you into our team and helping you get started. So number 3 is really important. Never, ever, ever leave somebody who is interested and you built a plan with, or they say that they're going to get creative and come up with the money. Never leave them without having that circle back date scheduled in your planner and theirs, with a specific date and a specific time. This is one of the most important steps in this formula. So schedule it with them. Now, here's what I also say. I add one more thing. Okay. Now, this is where most people would stop. They'd be like, okay, great. I'll call you at this time. I don't do that. I add one more step. I say, look, here's the deal. And this is kind of a bold step. It's kind of a leadership step, but I challenge you to try it. Here's what I say, because I am personally myself, I hope you are too, looking for people who are leaders and who have a leader mentality and are just showing you that they are a go-getter. Here's what I do. I say, look, we have that circle back date, your getting started date scheduled and planned. That's awesome. Now, here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want to encourage you to reach out to me. I'm not going to bug you before this date that we have scheduled, but I'm going to encourage you to reach out to me if you get creative and you go in hustle mode, and if you get the money even before this date that we have scheduled. That way we can get you started faster inside of our team. I can get you trained and we can start working on your game plan. Now, I want to kind of challenge you to see if you can get creative a little bit faster than even our circle back date. And if you can, reach out to me. I'm going to be really excited. I'm going to be really impressed. And I'm going to be even more excited to work with you because I'm going to see that you really, really want to make this happen. And I'm looking for those types of people. So I'm not going to bug you before our circle back date that's scheduled here in our calendar. But if things change, you get even more bold and creative with your money-making strategy here that we put together, let me know immediately. Send me a text, call me. We'll get you started at that time. That puts in place in their mind that you're looking for go-getters, and they want to be your go-getter if you have the posture with them in that scenario. So it's a very important, very creative, very postured step that you could add to handling the no money objection. Now, I've got a really cool episode also over on the blog, episode 46, where I talk about how to create urgency to get your prospects to join you even faster, even after they give you objections and you have a circle back date date and time on your calendar. So there's a really cool way that you can create even more urgency and more value with your prospects over on the blog at episode 46. I will leave in the show notes in the description here a link to that episode where you can actually go and watch that episode on my blog there. I'm sure you'll love it, and I'm sure it'll help you get more of your prospects to join you faster. Now, you just have to remember, do not be weak, be postured, and boss up. It is so important when you're dealing with objections and questions in your business. I've got a really good training also called Beyond Objections that you might want to check out over on the blog at tanyaliza.com. I'll leave a link in the resource section for you, and you can check out my Beyond Objections training. It is absolutely awesome. It will help you become better at handling all of the questions and objections that you might be getting in your business after you share your business presentation with your prospects. So go check it out. And also make sure to grab the free downloadable resource that we have put together for you with this episode, the No Money Objection script sheet and checklist for you. You can print it out and use it in your business and share it with your team. It's all there for you at tanyaliza.com/54 download. Now, question of the week. How are you currently handling the no money objection in your business? Do you got any tips for us that you'd like to share? I would love to hear about them in the comment section below. And if you love this video, if it helped you, please share in the comment section below as well. We will see you next week on Tanya Eliza TV.